Yeah, I've been in the industry for almost 10 years now, and I've mostly worked on back-end technologies, but I have a very limited experience on front-end.
Okay.
Um, okay, do you have any questions for us, for me? Do you want to know anything about me or the company? Um,
No, no, not right now.
okay, maybe we can take questions at the end of
Yeah,
you.
sure.
All right. So I do have your resume in front of me, but would it? Okay. Can you explain or give a brief introduction about what your technologies are and what you've been working on?
Yeah, sure. I have worked on couple of projects from different domain till now.
Mm-hmm.
So, domain includes the IoT domain, healthcare, the e-com domain, and the banking sector. So the mainly my role or responsibility is to communicate with client, gather the information, and create the UI components mostly. So most of the time I have worked on the UI part only using the React.js. I have few a little bit knowledge about Node.js too, and I have worked
Mm-hmm.
on it, but I don't have that much proficiency in Node.js. So mainly I
Okay.
am responsible for creating the UI components, integrating the web services, and
Mm-hmm.
making the UI responsive. That's it.
Okay. And how about React.js? How much experience you have in that?
Yeah. From my internship, I'm working on React.js only. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's been 4 years now.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay. So you worked on JavaScript, yes?
Yes. So I
Mm-hmm.
haven't worked on the native JavaScript projects. So that includes all the projects that I have worked on are using React.js.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah, I use all the JavaScript required by that library.
Oh, okay. Okay. What do you like about JavaScript the most
Uh,
as a language?
it is very easy to learn, I'll say. There are no
Mm-hmm.
restrictions, no deep or no, uh, I'll say, the things which are present in the object oriented programming languages that we need to know most of the concept first, then we can write better code in it. But for JavaScript, we can just start learning it, and just it is easy to grasp basically.
Okay. Okay. Good. And one thing that you hate about JavaScript.
Till now, yeah, there are a couple of bad parts, but I don't hate JavaScript for that because that's the way it
Just
behaves.
what are the bad parts?
Like their coercion, we can say the internal type conversions and all things that we know,
Mm-hmm.
like type checking,
Okay.
yeah, that kind of things. Apart from that, I don't hate anything.
Okay. So based on that, you think TypeScript is a better choice?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, so do you have any experience or have you
No,
just
I don't have any experience of using TypeScript, but I know, means if given a chance, I can work on that or I can learn it easily.
okay. So have you tried it out like unofficially, even though you've not worked on a project which has TypeScript? Have you just, made any um written any code or for pet
N-
projects like
no, I haven't written any code using TypeScript, but I have converted that code in JavaScript. So as per my
uh,
needs. So I was means converted means I have literally just if it is written in TypeScript, I can look at it and I can write say similar function in JavaScript. That was
okay,
my
so you
need.
can read TypeScript easily.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Can you fire up any online editor of your
Mhm.
choice and share your screen?
Is it okay if I use Visual Studio Code?
Yeah, anything. We just need to see the code running, so make sure
Mhm.
that you are writing in a
Okay,
project.
sure. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. This is going to be very basic and simple, but the question is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like you to write it as if you're writing it for a for production code.
Mm-hmm.
So handle everything that you think might break during production.
Mm-hmm.
So the method is going to be very simple,
Mm-hmm.
but be aware that, for example, somebody like me from the backend is just going to know the method name and what it does,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be using it from my code. There's going to be complete encapsulation about what goes on under the hood, and I would like to be given, understandable responses based upon what input I give, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the method I want you to write is a method which just gives me back the maximum number from a list of unsorted array
Mm-hmm.
numbers. That array can contain anything. I can give the input as anything from negative, zeros, special characters, and I would like you to handle every scenario and give appropriate, throw appropriate exceptions, give appropriate responses. So
Mm-hmm.
you do that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Nulls, zeros. So array can contain anything like negative numbers, nulls or
Yeah.
zeros, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And apart from this,
If it contains a special character, I would like you to skip over that character and give me the maximum number from
okay.
the rest of the remaining numbers in the array.
And we handled empty array, null numbers. The special characters. Hello.
No, that's fine. Since you're signal, it
Mhm.
will do
Yeah.
the same for special characters. Okay, perfect. Have you worked with REST APIs?
Yes.
You have. What method do you use or library do you use for
I
dealing with REST API?
I have used method means that action verbs, right? Post, delete.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's the REST API. What library do you use in JavaScript
Oh, for
for?
API integration. So earlier I
Yeah.
have used the Axios, but on my recent
Mm-hmm.
projects I'm using Fetch
You're
because
using that.
yeah,
Okay. So, if I give you an endpoint, will you be able to fetch the data for me?
yeah, sure.
Okay, just one sec. Right. So here is the endpoint. This is I've sent you as a message in
Okay.
the chat.
Okay. Fetch the data. I'll pass the endpoint as URL.
Yeah, no, wait. So what I want you to do is,
Mm-hmm.
when you call this API,
Mm-hmm.
you get a list of capsules, an array,
Mm-hmm.
JSON array.
Mm-hmm.
And each object in that array contains a capsule serial. So the
Mm-hmm.
capsule serial is looks like this. One second.
Is it public URL?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
public.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is the capsule serial.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want you to do is from each of the objects that you get in the array, I want you to fetch this capsule serial and store this value, the C101,
Mm-hmm.
for each capsule serial in an array.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll be getting response as array.
You can try and run it on your web browser.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Just and check what response you're getting.
Yeah. So okay.
Yes, you see the capsule serials in all the objects. So I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
want you to store the value of each capsule serial in an array.
Okay. So this is I'm getting as a response, and we want to store this particular entry in our array.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Just the value. Even
Okay. So only value.
only value.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Mm, okay. So I'll just console log the data first. Let me see what is coming. It is coming or not.
Sure.
Okay. Let me comment this call. Yay. Yeah. So maybe we might need to run this in the browser, right? Mhm. So, says oh, so const fetch data. It is getting URL. We're calling it. Yeah. So we are getting data. Okay. So now we want to extract the capsule serial. Okay, so this is the first object, and okay, so here what we can do, we can iterate over. Okay. Mm, first data of map will get, and what I want to return, item dot, let's say that. Okay. Mhm. I think this should work.
Mhm.
Yeah. So here is the array with the serial numbers.
All right, perfect. Great. Okay. Oh, all right. Uh, okay, that's good. That's good. One second. Okay. So have you heard about currying in
Yeah,
JavaScript?
yeah. So
I'm not a JavaScript person. I have no idea what it is. I just
mhm.
know that definition. So can you explain it to me like a layman? I have no clue how it works or what it is and why do we use it. Can you explain that to me? The concept of currying?
Okay, sure. So I'll tell you what my understanding is.
Yeah, you can also use your IntelliJ, oh sorry, not Visual Studio,
Mhm.
to just demonstrate and explain how would you explain currying to somebody who has no idea what it is?
Okay, sure. So basically, it is taking multiple input parameters and then
Mhm.
converting particular function into the sequence of functions that input for one is will be the output for other, sorry, output of one is the input for the other, or in other
Okay.
words we can say that creating the copy of function with some preset parameters, like that there is a typical example of addition of numbers. So can I write it, or
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, please.
sure. Okay, so typically, mm, const add, let's say, 3 num. So what we can do normally is a comma b comma c. Now there is a concept of singular functions. That means that function accepts only one single parameter. So we can use
Mm-hmm.
that to implement the currying mechanism. So this is the a plus b plus c. This is typically we can write this function, but using currying, what we can do, uh, add 3 num. Let's see for currying. So it will take some more. Uh, let's say it has parameter a, it has b. So I'm using the arrow syntax, that one liner. It will return, that
Mm-hmm.
one function will return the second. Let me show you what we can do. a plus b plus c. Now to call this function, so we can do this add, then we can pass something like this. Now we have to call it again because that function is returning the another function. So we can
Okay.
pass the value of b. Now this function is returning the another function. So we can now pass the value of c as 13. Forget about this. And we can just hold the result equal to, we can console log it. So result is 60.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is the
Okay.
concept of querying as per my understanding, where we are making the singular functions. So our functions are returning,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I got the concept. I understand what it does. What I want to know is why would you? I mean, what's the advantage over using the add three number c function over the add three num function?
Yeah, so to give you the another example, let's say I want to create one function which will return the number multiply of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me write it. Cost multiply by 2. And what this function will do, it will take two parameters a b, and it will return a multiply by b. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now what I want to do is, uh, yeah, preset it with the value of 2, because the value of a, that should be always 2 to make it work. Because if I call this function like that, like this, multiply by 2, so 10 and 20, so it does not make any sense, because
Mm-hmm.
the resultant output will not be multiplied by 2. So what I can do to make that happen, I can call this function multiply, because it will only multiply the given two numbers. Now what I want to do, create a new function. I'll say multiply by 2. So I'll use bind function to create copy of this function, and I can pass the first parameter here as a 2. So what this line will do, this will reset the a to 2, like this.
Okay. Okay.
So every time I'll just need to pass the second value while calling this function. So like this I
Okay.
can create as many function as I want by using the copy of this function.
Okay. Okay. That's better. Okay. All right. Okay, so I just have a couple more questions. So okay, the technical part of it is pretty much good and over. Um, so you said you work with clients, right?
Mhm. I
Yeah.
mean, I
So
am the part of the client meetings where,
okay.
yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So just a hypothetical scenario. So for example, you're working with a team,
Mhm.
and you're kind of leading that team of like two to three people, and your product owner comes up to you and says, I've had this conversation with a very important client, and they need this particular feature, and can you give me an ETA on how long would it take to implement it? And you discuss it with your team, and you come up with an ETA of, for example, 3 weeks,
Mhm.
and you tell that to your product owner, and the product owner goes back to the client, and he says, "Fine, that's good. Can you just we'll roll out the new feature in 3 weeks."
Mhm.
On the next day, the product owner comes back and tells you that there has been some miscommunication with the client,
Mhm.
and now the client wants the feature to be rolled out in a week.
Mhm.
So what would be your response to that? How would you handle it?
Uh, if given an ETA, that technically it wouldn't be possible. That is
Yeah.
the first thing. So I
But it's
think.
an important client. You don't want to, ruin your relationships with
Mhm.
with the client, with the customer. So, how do you handle it in a diplomatic way, or how do you handle it in a way that you don't lose the customer as well as you keep your NDA?
The best way I can think of is, even it is not possible to complete the whole feature in 1 week. What we can ask or what we can suggest them that we will be able to this particular part in 1 week, or this particular base in 1 week, that will be
Mm-hmm.
functional and that we can deliver for sure. And we'll try our best to go ahead of that too if it is possible. But if it is
Mm-hmm.
not, then we will at least make sure that this particular portion of this feature will be completed and you can
Okay.
demonstrate it.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. Good answer. Okay. All right. Another scenario. So, for example, you are in a meeting, and you have your manager, you have some juniors, and you have some peers in the conference room with you. And your manager is, explaining something on the whiteboard, and you see that he made a mistake. Okay,
Mhm.
and you point it out, but the manager is adamant that he did not make a mistake, and and this is the strategy that they're going to follow, but you don't agree with it,
Mhm.
and you think that a different strategy would be better. So how do you communicate to your manager?
So at the moment, what I can think of, I'll just sit there and see whatever manager is explaining.
Mm-hmm.
After, I can just suggest whatever I want to suggest. But still, if he didn't agree on that, what I can do, I can just go to that particular person in person. I can suggest what change I'm thinking of or what plan I have. If possible, I can provide the POC of that concept, how it is better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the only way we can convince the person, if that works well, giving the
Oh,
POC of whatever we are planning.
okay. So now, what if the person explaining the strategy is not your manager, he's your peer? How do you handle that? And yeah,
Peer in the sense.
who has the same experience as you, who's at the same
Mhm.
post as you are?
I think the similar concept we can apply also there. So we can try to understand what our colleague or peers are trying to explain, and we can uh, prove our point to them by giving some appropriate examples or whatever. I mean, it's depend on the situation, or
Mm-hmm.
depends on the points that we have. Like we should be taking some points, advantages or disadvantages, and we can just have the normal conversation. So which one is better? A healthy conversation, and mutually we can decide
Mm-hmm.
which plan is better.
Okay, so you'll have this conversation during the meeting, or would you wait for the meeting to be over and then go to your peer and say, what you said was wrong, and I think this is what we should do.
I'll wait for meeting to be over.
But won't that be wasting time then, if you wait for the meeting to be over and then you go
Yeah,
back to your
because
peer and you say that this is how, and even if he agrees, then you have to have another meeting where you explain your strategy. So isn't it better that you do that when the meeting is being held?
that is possible if multiple people are involved in it, and if there is
Mm-hmm.
a chance given to explain what we are thinking, then definitely we can discuss this thing over there. And but if I'm approaching something and in spite of that that idea is getting rejected or whatever something else, then I can probably wait and then I can just rearrange, or I can go to that person and I can explain what I was thinking if it is not possible
Mhm.
in front of all the peoples.
Okay. So even okay, so the meeting is over. You were not able to put your point across, or whatever. The person did not agree with you, and now once the meeting is over, you have a POC. You have every fact in your bucket, and you go to your peer and you say, this what you're doing is wrong, and we are going to face this challenges, and this is the strategy we should follow, but he still does not agree, and you know that it's wrong for the product, for the for what you're building, and the customer is definitely going to come back to you and say, what crap have you given me? How would
So
you handle that?
in this case, I think I should be going, or I would go one step above. I'll maybe reach to the manager or the
Mm-hmm.
team lead, and I'll suggest the change and show the what things I have to them, that why this thing is better than that and how this will help to our product.
Okay, and what if even the team lead doesn't agree with you?
Then I should be went to manager. I mean, what I can do is just go
You
to.
can't go to the CEO, right? If my point is that nobody is agreeing with you. Even the senior most person or the product owner of your team doesn't agree with you that this is not the right strategy. What you're proposing and what we should be going ahead with is correct. What
If
would you do?
right now what coming from inside me is that if that thing is really bad for our product, I should be calling a meeting. I'll invite all the peoples. I try to put my point, all my points, my POCs, my concept, and I'll try to convince each and everyone that why should we use this, I mean, uh, why should we be
Would
going in
you
this way.
would you consider the fact that you might be wrong? I mean, if a person who's like 10 years experience
Mhm.
is saying that no, this is not the right strategy, you could be wrong, right? So at
In
what
that,
point do you concede and say, yes, I might be wrong, you have more experience, and let's see how this works?
yeah, right. That is also case. If the person is experienced and he is asking me, or if he's I mean, he's putting some points that are valid, then definitely
Mm-hmm.
I can step back.
Yep. Okay. All right. So think I've, uh, I think I am done here. All right. Rishabh, do you have any questions for us? Or do you want to know anything about our company?
I know. Sorry, I do want to know about the that product, Cynthia, I think.
Yep, same
Uh,
here.
Cynthia.
All right. So by any chance, did you get a chance to look at our website?
No, sorry.
Okay, I would strongly suggest that you do go ahead and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we are a product company, and our main product is Symbia, as you mentioned. Symbia is basically a tool. So uh, in the world of engineering, there are a lot of disciplines, and each discipline has their own method or tool of storing data, like requirements. So, for example, mechanical people use AutoCAD, right? If you've heard of it.
Yeah.
uh, Software engineers use GitHub, and
Mhm.
then there are other tools for other kind of tracking. So we have Jira for issue tracking, we have Doors and Jama for requirement tracking. So we have all those kind of tool, and there are a lot of companies which work in a combined form, which combine a lot of engineering disciplines. For example, automotive or aerospace. So if you're building a car, you're just not dealing with just one kind of engineering. You're dealing with a lot of different disciplines. You're dealing with software, electronics, electrical, mechanical, and all these different disciplines have different kind of tools which for which they store data, but at the end of the day, they all have to integrate and come up together to build the final product. So what our tool does is we sit over all of these different tools which are used for data tracking, and we provide the companies with a digital thread between all of their components which are available in different um, different tools. And what we do is we let them make relationships. For example, a Jira issue can be related, can have a Cydia connection to a commit in GitHub. Okay, so software or a product owner knows that this issue was resolved in this commit, and similarly, that Jira issue can further be connected to a requirement in Doors or Jama, so that we know that this issue came up when we were building the code for this particular requirement. So it kind of creates a thread. You will be able to see that thread if you go over and actually take a look at our website.
Okay.
Uh, so what we were a couple of years ago, we were a plugin tool or a standalone dashboard desktop application, um, and we were a plugin for Magic Draw. That's an MBSE tool for systems engineering. So if you're a software engineer, you might have heard of UML. That's a language which we use for designing our software, and
Mhm.
SysML is a language that is used for designing systems. It's pretty similar, and our product was a plugin in a tool which provides SysML as a language for you to build your systems. Um, and then recently, like a couple of years ago, we went enterprise, and now we have a web dashboard. We have we have cloud. We host your services on Amazon,
Mhm.
and the web dashboard is it's in its first iteration right now.
Okay.
It's basic, um, and that's what the new UI person would be building on.
Okay.
So there is a lot of scope for improvement there. It's just, as I said, it's like the first iteration, very skeletal and very just just the basic functionality. But yeah, there is a lot of scope for improvement on our UI,
Mhm.
and that's what we are looking for in the next person who joins us.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you will also find some screenshots of the web dashboard. Um, so we use Cyberscape and D3, I think,
Okay.
for apps, and React and TypeScript. We also have some JavaScript. Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Anything you want to know about the company or
Mm,
people or thing?
no, no.
Okay. So, okay, let me ask you, why do you want to leave your current organization?
Yeah. Because right now I'm in. It is very good organization, but I'm not
Mhm.
getting as much responsibilities as per my role. I'm just
Oh,
doing
okay.
the. I'm stuck in some of the project, and I don't want to do that. I mean, I
So,
want the more responsibilities or anything extra that will challenge me, basically.
yeah, yeah, okay. So, have you like tried to speak to your management about this before
Yeah, yeah.
deciding to leave?
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. I'll not probe further. Uh, all right. So, where do you stay?
In Pune, Maharashtra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, where in Pune? I used to
Uh,
stay in Pune.
in Pune, Keshunagar Mundwa. Do you know passport office?
Mumbai. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Mumbai.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in
Okay.
Mundwa.
Good. All right. Nice. Okay, so currently, we used to have an office in Pune,
Mm-hmm.
but the pandemic hit and we let go of it.
Oh.
So currently, we don't have a office, Would that be an issue for you? Are you
No,
a person who has to go to office every day?
no, because I
All
have
right.
pretty nice setup at home, so I like that.
Uh, yeah, he's not. So yeah, but we do have people who are who stay in Pune.
Mhm.
So there'll be regular meetups or things like that, like lunches and
Mhm.
drinks and dinner, things like that. But yeah, we don't have an office right now. Um, that's I think that's it for me. We still have 10 minutes. Okay. I think we are good.
Mhm.
If you don't have any more questions, we can end the meeting here.
Okay.
All
Yeah, thank
right.
you. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was great meeting you, and I will give my feedback. And I think Sutra contacted you, right?
I think Sabah.
Sabha, right? Yeah, Sutra HR, Sabha. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So Sabha will be contacting you soon.
Okay.
What's your notice period?
Sorry.
What's your notice period, and are
Uh,
you currently
it
serving it?
is no. I'm not serving it. It is of 60 days.
60 days. Is it negotiable?
I need to ask.
Okay, okay. But have any of your colleagues
Mhm.
gotten a notice period of less than 60 days? I mean, is it possible in your organization to
Uh,
negotiate it? Or
I'll check it out, but I don't think it is possible. But in
no,
certain
that's
conditions, it is.
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's not an issue.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So I'll give my feedback,
Yeah.
and we'll contact you
Okay.
shortly for the next. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
Oh, okay.